kicking off today's proceedings quite nicely. So we're moving from talking all things sport and talent scouting to health and fitness. We're moving on to a conversation around FitTech and health. I think it's fair to say that FitTech has really redefined the way we move, the way we track and achieve our fitness goals, to the point where we might even be a little bit borderline obsessed. So we're going to dive into the world of health and fitness now. And I think a great person to help set the scene is Steve Dykes, Chief Retail and Countries Officer for Decathlon. So give him a welcome round of applause on stage. He's going to set the scene. Now, before I leave the stage to you, how are you?
Very good.
Excellent. So, am I right by saying...
coordination.
You didn't get the memo, Steve. You didn't get the memo. So, am I right by saying you've been at Decathlon for 25 years?
That's right.
You are very much a part of the furniture. So, you've really seen the fitness landscape evolve and change, and you've seen how different countries interpret fitness, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah, and I wanted to say a few words about that, if possible.
Hey, guys, if you
Before
keep
we
the noise
start.
down.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to leave the stage to you.
Yeah, thank you.
You've got about 7-ish minutes, and I'll be back to welcome our
I can see
panelists.
it click. So, yeah, I started in professional sports. I wasn't at the level of Sol Campbell, but I played at my hometown, Wigan Athletic, football. But my career after 2 years was ended. I snapped the ligaments in my ankle. And the doctor said at the time, if the technology had been better, maybe you could have played for longer. And it really stuck in my mind at the time. I moved a little bit away from sport. I went to university and found myself in Lyon in France as an English teacher in a French university. And the World Cup came to town. Sol Campbell was playing. I went to watch him in Saint-Étienne. He scored a goal, which I think with VAR technology would have been allowed these days. But I applied to work for the World Cup organizing committee, and I became a speaker in the stadium in 1998. And I remember really the obsession at that time to measure things and people who were commentating with the statistics, how long people were running, what contribution to the game. It became really more commonplace. So after that, I decided to stop as an English teacher and do something different, and I joined Decathlon. And a coincidence again, but the department I was working for was a new department which was measuring performance, measuring technology's impact on performance. And we had a few basic products at the time. We had a barometer for telling the weather. Is it going to be sunny for sport? We had watches which, believe it or not, were for telling the time. I start golf at 2 p.m. I finish approximately at 6 p.m. I'm in the bar for the 19th hole at maybe 6:30, 7 p.m. and it's going to be sunny. But I felt really the sales were good. The customers were really interested in all things data about their performance and measuring. Fast forward 8 years, 2007, I was fortunate enough to become product manager, market manager for the electronics department in Decathlon, Géonaut. Traveled worldwide, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong in particular. And the tech had really moved on, clearly. We tried to develop products. We had loads of great ideas. Some of them I think we see now, but we dreamt. We had a vision about what technology could do in terms of wellness and fitness. I remember developing a stepwatch with an accelerometer from the car industry. We were super proud about it. And we're encouraging people to take 10,000 steps in a week, ideally in a day, to improve their health. But the technology was good, but it wasn't that good. It was quite clunky. I remember one of my French colleagues saying it was c'était comme une grande patate, which means it's like a big potato. And it was more maybe for weightlifting than really something about performance while you're playing sport. Afterwards, I became CEO for Decathlon UK, and then 8 years CEO for India and West Asia, which really changed my life, had a big impact. I think everybody who's had association with India has seen the progress and the acceleration of the market and sports in particular in the last 8 to 10 years. And for 8-9 years I was there. We went from 5 million euros, just one store, to 125 stores and over €500 million. In the early days, we organized events, and I remember one particular one in Delhi, 5:30 in the morning because of the heat. We said, let's do a 5K run and a competition. And we had 500 people approximately turn up. A lot of curiosity, a lot of different levels. For some people, it was the first time they tried to do a 5K run. One guy set off like Usain Bolt, and we thought, maybe going to break the world record, or after 200 meters, there's going to be a problem. And it was the latter. After 200 meters, there was a problem, but a real curiosity. 8 years later, with the Decathlon Play app, we have 2.4 million Indians regularly booking, playing. We have a cycling group, all the latest equipment, top of the range carbon bike, going off to the Nandi Hills in Bangalore, and a real thirst and interest in technology, and a real influencer from the community, social influencers, to really follow what's being done, and a lot of content being consumed, even with our own teammates. We have teammates who are really quite high level in different sports, and 20,000 followers. Obviously, it's a numbers game in India, and we feel that part of it really taking off. And the market, not only in a business sense, but in a sport and health and an obsession with the data, has really taken off too. Last few years, I came back just after COVID from India, based in Paris now, and all of these products which I was dreaming about at the time, like the Whoop watch, the Oura Ring, or the Fitbit, are being worn by colleagues and by customers, and the sales are really going through the roof. And we can see that really is the next step is really how do we have that parallel between sport and wellness, and a real kind of obsession with data. And it makes sense, really. I think people love to measure. The sense of this first introductory speech is it doesn't stop when you leave school. You think after you've done your exams that maybe you're not going to be tested or measured or whatever, but it really carries on. You know, I did a marathon a few years ago, and the first question after you finish is, what was your time? It's not how many days training you did. It really is what was your time. So I think human nature is really obsessed with information, and obviously that is the question and answer session. Is it a healthy obsession, or are we obsessed with health? I know in Decathlon we think it's good for you, and sport has so much to give. We have a lot of work with our foundation, and we can see the impact on soft skills. We can see the impact on people's mental health. I have colleagues and previous friends from India in Bangalore who are really pushing their kids to carry the sport on. There was a little bit of a stereotype at 13 and 14, sport finished and you should concentrate on your study and become a doctor or an engineer. We know we've heard that before. I see a lot of friends who are really been playing football with my sons at 15, 16. They're still encouraging it because there's such an impact on mental well-being and also physical well-being.